Strategy and Snark presents Dungeons & Dragons Online. Welcome back. I've been asked a couple times to make a video about gear and how to gear up your character. And it's a good question. Especially once you hit max level, like the next logical thing to do is to go get gear to make your character even pointier to stab all the things. But it is a daunting process, right? Or prospect. When I first did my first gear set, I went through update by update reading all of the named item lists to compile my own list of good items. That is not how you should do it. So, the short answer is you get on the forums and you copy somebody else's homework. Somebody else with a similar build to yours already found all the best gear. Go copy it. Okay? You come back here into your builder and you click all of those little slots and you tell the builder to remember those items for you. You hit save and now you know exactly what gear you're farming for and what quest they come from, because it'll actually tell you right here in the builder where every item comes from after you put it in. Now, if you're like me, you don't use raid items because you don't raid. You also don't use crafting items because I'm lazy, can't be bothered to collect them all. I don't even use augments, and you can buy half of those now. So, how does one put together a gear set with all of these limitations? Well, I'm going to show you. But if you're only here because you literally want to know what my gear is or will be once all the farming is done, I put that down in the description. So if you only want to know the literal answer is what gear do I wear, it's in the description. If you want to join me on the journey of how I chose all of that stuff, let's go. Alright. This is where it starts getting complicated, so bear with me. We're not even going to use the gear planner that's built into the planner, because I found a way better one. This is ddo-gear-planner.netlify.app. This is a website. I'll have a link in the description below. This thing does a lot. This is, if you really want to put your own gear set together, this is where you gotta go. This thing, game changing. That's how good this thing is. So, how do we use it? We are a charisma character, so boom, we're going to pick charisma. We want like all of the basic stuff, and we would like the melee stuff. So we just click those 3 buttons. If you already know there's something you want, you can even type it in here, like, say I wanted death block. It's right there, I could click on it. But if it wasn't there, I could type in, just typing in death, and there's death block, death ward mass clicky, just anything in the game. Anything and everything. You want to make sure it's on your character? Type it in there, click, we're going to track it. Hit done, and here's all of those things we told it we wanted. Mostly it's like the basic stuff and the melee stuff. These are all the stats that you should care about. These are most of the stats you should care about. There's a couple missing, but we'll get there. This is where you're going to click to pick your gear. And you can filter some options up here. I uncheck show raid items. I'm also just going to go ahead and move that level range up to 29 because I don't care about the low level items. We don't have an offhand because we're a two-handed character, so we're going to get rid of the one-handed too. The weapons you can kind of ignore. I do uncheck offhand because otherwise it'll try to show you offhand items. if you want to, you can even click into, say, two-handed melee right here. Click on that. There's all your options. We could uncheck everything but great swords. And that'll also narrow that down. Similarly, armor, you could uncheck all of the armor types you know you're not going to use. So, just to get it out of the way, your weapon doesn't matter. I'm going to use Blackrazor because it's cool. So I'm going to click on weapon, right? I'm going to click on the word weapon, and here's them recommending a bunch of weapons. I'm going to just start typing in Blackrazor. I'm going to grab Reflection of Blackrazor and equip it, because it just doesn't matter. Use what you've got. The Morning Lord Greatsword, or Morning Lord insert weapon type here, is good enough. Go ahead and just use that until you find a fancy weapon you like better. Weapons usually don't have real stats on them, so you can swap them around pretty freely. If you're a spellcaster, it might be more important because you have the... That's usually where you can find like your combustion and stuff, like for fire damage. So casters, your main hand and offhand are just 2 more stat slots. But we're a melee. We're going to hit things. So we're going to have some big weapon that hits things. From there, I would say you're going to want to look at set bonuses. Look at what packs you own. See what set bonuses are included in the items in those packs. Right now, the Vecna Unleashed stuff looks like it's pretty good. And you can fill out most of your character using that one pack. I haven't used any of that stuff. I don't know how annoying it is to farm. So I'm just... And it's kind of new still. At this point, I don't even think it's actually in the DDO store. I think you still have to buy it on the separate website. So, not going to go into the Vecna stuff. So, I'm going to go and use Sharn. I pick Sharn because I really like the part of the family set. And I already know the names of those items, so I'm going to just grab one of them here. I'm going to click on armor. I'm going to type in, not part of the family, Enforcer's Plate. I'm going to make sure I click on the legendary one, not the heroic one. Equip. So, what this gives... We'll get back to it for a second. When you're putting set items in, you don't even have to go and search them all individually. So I've got part of the family right here, and it says set part of the family right here. I can just click on the word, either one of those, and there's the rest of the items. Already filled slots is right here, because it's armor. You can't use just any of the armor. But there's the other two, the gloves and the necklace. Equip, equip, boom. I have all 3 pieces of my set bonus equipped, didn't have to look anything up, and because I already told it not to show me raid items, I only saw the ones I could get at in quests. So, now that we've got those equipped, we have all 3 out of 3 equipped. It's going to show us our set bonus down here. The reason I came after this one is armor piercing. That is a relatively hard stat to get. For a long time, I think the part of the family set was like the only way to get a lot of it. They have added stuff since then. I'm pretty sure Vecna Unleashed has some new armor piercing items, and I think I even saw it dropping on random loot. So it's not super rare anymore, but this is still a really big pile of it in one spot. And it's artifact bonus. So, just to look, so like at Charisma, enhancement bonus. That's our normal bonus we get for equipping an item. Then we've got Festive. That's once a year event augment. Profane, usually it's another set bonus. Insightful we can find, quality we can find, exceptional, and then artifact, right? So you can see the number getting smaller as you go, but artifact is almost exclusively set bonuses. Profane is often a set bonus, but not exclusively, especially on like evil themed gear. You can often get profane bonuses without having to get a set bonus. So it's like the second place for set bonuses, but artifact's where it's at. You kind of want to start with your set bonus, look for an artifact bonus of a stat you really want, and work backwards. So I'm not even going to think about gloves or necklaces or armor, because I wanted armor piercing so we can get all those critical hits in, and this is the biggest number of that I can find. Plus, the necklace is really good. It has true seeing, it has deadly, and it has armor piercing. And they will stack because that's enhancement and that's artifact. We get a little bit of double strike, a little bit more deadly here. We have all of the fortification we want. So this is good. This is a nice starting point. We've got a nice big offense started. But we're a charisma-based character, right? We need a charisma item. So we're going to go ahead and click on charisma here. Just the word enhancement. What that's going to do, it's going to give us a list of all the items that give charisma in order of the value they give. So if I want 15 charisma, these 5 items are my options, and they're all dinosaur bone crafting, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to pick something out of 14, or if you really want to, I could even go down to 13. You know, if the other bonus was really good. And then, of course, it will also show me the stuff in the already filled slots, but I don't care about that. So if you are fresh, don't know all the items in the game, here's a list. So what I would do is I would sit here. I know I don't want to do crafting. So I'd look at Catra's Wit. I'd look at Ring of the Silver Concord. I'd look at these items, because if you click on this little blue link, it actually takes you to the DDO wiki page, and there's the item right there. It'll take you straight to it. Or you can equip it, obviously. After reading all these, I picked Bright Lord, the Sigil of the Flame. I'm going to hit equip and just scroll up to look at it. It is yellow because it is an artifact. You can only have one artifact equipped. It gives me 14 charisma, which is... It's not the 15 that dinosaur bone crafting gives me, but it's the best I can get without doing crafting. Also gives me speed. Unfortunately, also gives armor piercing. So you'll see our old item with armor piercing, that's turned orange to show, hey, it's there, but you're not getting a benefit from it anymore. Sorry. But this one also gives extra smites. I really like this item. Like, it's a little sad it overlaps that little bit with the part of the family set, just on that armor piercing, but just look at it by itself. Charisma, speed, armor piercing, extra smites. This is a paladin item. It says paladin all over it. I really like this item. And if I was to change something about the build, if I were to update it in general, it'd probably be moving from the part of the family set probably to something from Vecna Unleashed. I'm not going to go through that work. But like if you wanted to, sure, push your stuff up to the Vecna items. I still really like Bright Lord. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take Bright Lord as my charisma item. Now, while we're looking at this, so we saw the orange. That armor piercing's a waste. But I like True Seeing. True Seeing isn't even highlighted. It's not on our list of things we told it to care about. If you want to add something to that list, we're going to click that little heart right next to True Seeing. Now True Seeing lights up, and it's on our list now. I definitely want to be seeing some True Seeing in here. So the next item I knew I wanted was our hat. If you've watched the playlist, you know we picked up the Crown of Butterflies. Crown of Butterflies has... just type in butterfly. So we found this thing. We found the heroic version while we were playing the game. It has Crown of Summer. So if we scroll down here to melee power, okay, where's melee power? Right here. There's not that many sources of melee power. Like, almost half of it is just artifact bonus from set bonuses. If I actually click on enhancement to melee power, there are no items that just give that. You know why? Because it is Crown of Summer. Crown of Summer is the thing that gives the melee power enhancement bonus. They're just not quite connected in the spreadsheet because it's technically giving you a buff, and the buff is giving you the melee power. Do we even have... Oh, and so if I click on Profane, okay, the only way to get that other 15 Profane melee power, Adherent of the Mist's set. Forbidden Knowledge, that's a set. You can tell because it says pieces. 5-piece set, 5-piece set, 5-piece set. Right? 5-piece set. We're not adding 5 pieces of gear just to get that little bonus. Melee power on gear comes from 2 places. 1, your set bonus. 2, the Crown of Summer. This is the only thing I am aware of other than filigrees, but you can put the filigrees in on top of all of this stuff. Yeah, Crown of Summer. We don't even really have to upgrade our heroic one. We will, because we get a much better shelter or magical sheltering bonus, so we take less magic damage. But we could get away with wearing that heroic one. This is like the last thing we're going to farm out because we have the heroic one. Let's see. Oh, so another note in here. So we got our magical sheltering and our physical sheltering, but you'll notice that sheltering still says 0. That's because this website is literally taking the exact wording that DDO has in the game. And in DDO, sheltering and then the physical and magical sheltering are separate stats that apply their bonuses to the same stats. Sheltering usually adds to both of them at the same time, as opposed to calling out physical or magical. So, don't freak out if some of these aren't as high as you think they should be. Like, we have some of both of these. I'm just going to click this X. Boom. Take that sheltering off of there. Another one that I noticed is a little wacky on here. We have speed, right? But it says we have 0 melee alacrity. That's your weapon speed, right? But that's built into speed. It's just part of speed. So we don't need this as a separate thing on here to make me think I don't have it. So I'm going to collect that one out too. And as just a final note here, while we're talking about the builder itself, don't panic about not maxing things out. We are not going to hit 34 charisma bonus, okay? We're not going to hit it. Even if I wanted to. Even if I said, yes, I have this festive augment, and I find a profane augment, and I figure out what they mean by exceptional. Oh, this is in... There we go. It's in the dinosaur bone weapons. Weapons. I'm not putting together a dinosaur bone weapon to get 2 more charisma. That would be like maybe a caster thing at most. And then, of course, the artifact bonus. That's all 3 to 5 piece set bonuses. Oh, 2. I'd only need 2 items there. Masterful Mage Right. Something tells me that's not going to be full of melee bonuses. Charisma's a little tricky like that. We're not going to hit all of these. These are not telling you that you're failing. These are not telling you that you're missing things. This is so you know what the potential is, and you can look for new types of bonuses to stack. Don't freak out about not getting all of it. Just make sure you have a little bit in each of the ones you care about. And aim for the enhancement bonus first. So let's do Constitution, right? We don't have any Constitution yet, so we'll click Enhancement Bonus. And you can go down here. I know I don't want Dinosaur Bone, so we're not getting a 15. And I can look at all of these 14s here, all these different items until something catches my eye. And what caught my eye was actually this 13 bonus on the Mantle of Fury when I was reading these items. Because, where are you at? It also gives a big bonus to double strike and dodge. We're not going to have a great maximum dodge bonus, but this will definitely fill it up. So we have as much dodge as we can get right there. And 15% double strike? Yeah. And all of that is on one item, plus it has a slot if we ever get around to using those. Yeah. And I didn't have to go digging through the wiki for hours looking for Constitution items. I just clicked on Constitution. Now our main stat's still Charisma. Let's go. No, so, and I did this. I click on Insight, because that's the next biggest bonus I know we can easily get. Looked at these items, went, ew. Don't like any of them. Don't like any of them. Save that for later, right? If I'm not impressed with any of those items, and we're looking at mostly ring, yeah, there's a couple ring options, trinket, goggles. I know I don't want those goggles. I'm so tired of farming collective site. So I know I don't want those goggles. So, whatever. Save it for later. Let's look at quality instead. It's only a bonus of 3. Maybe we'll find something cool in there, right? And we did. Found the Battle-Worn Medal when I was reading through the items. Battle-Worn Medal gives us that 3 charisma, but also 3 quality double strike. I like double strike. And it has a passive greater heroism built in. I can't cast that spell. That's pretty cool. That's almost like getting another stacking +4 to accuracy. And accuracy is something we care about. And it'll boost our action boosts, which I don't remember offhand if we have any. Because I'm bad at paying attention to those kind of things. Let's see. Consulting my notes to make sure I'm going through things in the right order. Right, so if you don't know which stat you want or which stat to prioritize, you can also just click on the slot. So say I click on boot. I can just look at the items this way and be like, oh, which bonuses would I like in my boot slot? I can't really stack the dodge that well, but look at this. That's an extra 9 Constitution. Stacking Constitution plus freedom of movement all in one slot? Yes, please. That's going to give us some nice defenses there. And the Fortitude save thing isn't terrible. It's not worth going after, but it's like, yeah, I'll take it. It's basically free. I would have worn this item if this Fortitude save bonus wasn't on there. So it's free. And then because we have a winter set item, I go, are there any remaining slots that are good enough? And I like the Direbear belt well enough. So it's mostly defensive. It's going to give us some more sheltering. Which may or may not stack because that's the combo one, and we already have a bigger bonus individually. But that's a decent amount of extra armor class, and because we have a second item, we just get a straight up plus 30 to physical sheltering. This might as well be just tacked on to the end of this belt. Because we are wearing the belt, we also get a stacking plus 30 physical sheltering. Now, okay, now this is a nice defensive belt. There is a better belt, because I was looking and there's a really good belt out of the Vecna Unleashed stuff. But I'm trying not to use the Vecna items. This is kind of a weak slot, so if you decide that you like one of these other belts better, go for it. But I like the Direbear, and it's easy to farm because I'm already doing Feywild. So nice defensive item. I'm already doing Feywild. It'll be easy to farm. And if I find an amazing belt later, okay, whatever. The rest of the winter set, unfortunately, is a little too crappy. We can only really afford the rings. And there was a while that I was wearing the Nocturne ring. Well, that I was planning on using the Nocturne ring. I was like, I'll take that because that'll also give me 30 healing amplification. But all it really gives me is True Seeing, which is duplicated. I know that because I highlighted it earlier, and now it's blue, so I know it's duplicated. And some extra stacking fortification, which I don't really care about. So it's like, is the one item worth just some healing amp? I don't think so. So I gave up on it. So at this point, we're getting low on slots, right? We've got a lot of the stuff filled in. We need our goggles and we need 2 rings. And that's all we got left for this gear set. So looking at our lists of things, it's like, I don't have any resistance, but that's not a huge priority. Don't have any parrying, that's not a huge priority. As I glance down the list, accuracy. That's a big priority. I need to be able to hit things. So let's see what we have in the world of accuracy items. And as I was reading these, I came across this one. It's technically not the highest bonus, but the Sight of the Sleepwalker also has deception on it. And when I noticed that deception was not part of it's not part of the melee affixes. Like, what? Click. That is accuracy and damage in one stat. It's just, it only applies if it counts as a sneak attack, which means you're not the main target, which, okay, anytime things go after my hireling, bam, extra damage, yes. Or if you're like in a real group, there's a very low chance that we're going to be the one being attacked, right? We're not the tank. So, these goggles filled 2 slots of stat that one of which I didn't even know I was missing. So I'm pretty happy with this item. I look forward to getting that one. After that, we haven't used our rings. Rings are a good slot to save for last if you can, because rings tend to be able to use any bonuses, kind of. You know, you can find a lot of different things on rings. They're kind of the catch-all slot. So we go down here and we go, fine. We want our 6 insightful charisma. There are items with ring. I'm not excited about any of them. So the one I picked was the legendary Shattered Onyx. We have to do the little crafting thing to put the +6 insightful charisma on it, but it's a minor crafting, and I already have all the mats because you just collect them naturally from playing Sharn. It does give us a little bit of stacking dodge, which won't matter because it goes over our dodge cap, and a little bit of resistance. So, it gives me a little bit on top of my charisma. I'm not excited about it, but it gets the job done. And now we have 23 out of our 34 charisma. When the event comes back, sure, I can go get that festive augment, and we'll be at 25. But we're never going to get the profane, exceptional, or artifact. You're really never going to get the artifact because you're trying to play a melee. That artifact bonus is on spellcaster set bonuses, and you're going to waste a ton of slots chasing that max charisma. As for the other ring, you know what I did? I did this. I clicked on ring and asked the planner, what else you got? What else fills in slots with bonuses that I have told you I care about? And so this first one isn't bad. Extra armor class and resistance, so get some extra saves, get feather falling, and some armor class. This is a legitimate option. You could pick this. It's not a wrong answer. I went with the second one here. More HP, but also ghostly. So that we have the I think ghostly is the hitting the ghosts. I think it might also give me the 10% incorporeal. I'm not... Let me double check that. Ghostly is melee and missile attacks do not roll a mischance for incorporeal targets, and enemies have a 10% chance to miss you because of incorporality. So it is both. It is both of those things. So we have basically 10% of attacks go right through us, and we can hit ghosts, which I think we can already do because we're paladin, but I always second guess myself on that. In any case, it's covered, and I don't have to worry about it. Ghostly is only 10%. You can get like automatic blur for 20%, displacement at 25, or lesser displacement. There's bigger bonuses, but you can have blur cast on you so that they can stack, basically. You can't have incorporality cast on you. So I think ghostly is better if you can only pick one of the bonuses, because you can have somebody cast blur on you and kind of get both. So that's all of our gear. That's how we did it. We have a lot of bonuses, and this is looking pretty good to me. Remember, I'm not an expert at raids or anything. This is not using any raid gear. This is all stuff I can walk up and get myself. Like, yeah, technically Blackrazor, I'd have the next version down. Echo of Blade, there we go. The one that actually drops in White Plume Mountain. But everything here, I can just walk up and get myself. None of this is raid items. None of this is loot boxes or anything weird like that. It's just go and farm the items out. I've only got one sad little duplicate stat in there. Nothing's maxed out, but everything has a number in it. I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, I don't really care about parrying that much. We don't have Featherfall, but, you know, if it's important, we'll have the wizard cast it. I don't think there are any quests where Featherfall is required without them giving it to you somehow. And we can get Featherfall clickies if it's really that important. So, whatevs. We sink like a rock. Oh no. if you are into the augments, obviously you can go down this list here and grab, you can plug in your augments. I will say there is one augment that this build kind of needs. You will need, and I don't remember exactly the number, this build needs a wisdom augment. Because remember, we have to have 14 wisdom to cast our paladin spells. And we don't have enough natural wisdom. We've just been wearing an item that happens to have wisdom on it. So it wasn't worth using an actual item to get the wisdom. So this is one of those cases where I would just go find. I don't think it even needs to be a +6. I think you could get away with less, but the wisdom augments are obtainable in Giant Hold. I'm pretty sure. Let's double check. DDO augment. Purchasable augments. We want So, Mysterious Remnants is one source. You could get +5 wisdom for 500, +6 wisdom for 700 Mysterious Remnants. That's an option. 20 tokens of the 12 will get you wisdom +9. That's not bad. 20 is a lot. That's a whole TR. Let's see. Here we go. 3 of each relic type. So go to Giant Hold. 3 ancient dragon relics, 3 ancient elven relics, 3 ancient giant relics. Did I say giant? Dragon, elven, giant. This is basically free. Okay, you're going to have these just from running these quests. And there you go. Diamond of Wisdom +6. Go to Giant Hold. Play Giant Hold on your way in Heroic. Right? There you go. And you've got your +6 wisdom. Easy. And you could even do the epic one if you wanted, because you can use the... Wow, you can get quite a few nice little things in here in Giant Hold. But that is for its own deep dive into the augment system, which is for somebody more knowledgeable than me. This is pretty much the outer limit of my ability, is putting together a gear set like this. I don't do the raids and stuff. I want to be very clear on that, okay? This is not end game raid, never need to switch my gear out gear set. This is, I can farm all this stuff by myself, and it is good enough. We were able to beat hard mode basically our whole career using random crap we found off the floor, okay? This will get you into elite mode. This will get you actually probably into low Reaper. Reaper 1 or so. You could run around with this and not feel like you're dragging everybody down. After this, though, is raid items. Well, it's probably Vecna Unleashed because they're slightly higher level items, but then you really need to start mixing in the raid items to really go to the next level of character power over this, which is more than I do. But this will play any quest in the game you want. Potentially even on Elite. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have the actual item list and quest and pack all in one spot in the description, so you can see exactly what packs you would need to mimic this. I think that about wraps things up for this paladin. and for this playlist. If you have thoughts on how to make this quest go faster so I can get that damned item, but also what's your go-to gear, right? If you've got a set of gear you always use or something, put it down in the comments. It's not for my YouTube engagement, right? I don't get paid for any of this. Put it down there so other people watching videos like this can go read your thoughts down in the comments. Spread the information. Make this easier for other players. You know, lower that bar to entry so more people are willing to come and play the raids, more willing to come and play in Reaper. You know, lower that barrier to entry, which is figuring out what gear you're supposed to be wearing. Tell us your easily accessible gear sets that get you far enough. Those neat little level 22 items you can super easily farm out and give bonuses that you can't even find at higher levels. Tell us your secrets down in the comments, and we'll make everybody a better player. And until then, you know, again, thank you for being here, for listening to my rambling. I'm gonna go to bed. I hope this has been at least somewhat helpful. We'll see you in the next video.